اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم يا رسول الله، يا إمام الرحمة، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين، يا علي بن أبي طالب، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد، يا قرة عين الرسول، يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله، اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين، يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباكر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها القادم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الحاد النكي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وسي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. Ask for your hajat. يا سادتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وأدتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله وتوسلت بكم إلى الله واستشفعت بكم إلى الله فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا سادتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين ولعن الله أعداء الله ظالميهم من الأولين والآخرين آمين رب العالمين. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, I have about 7-8 minutes, 9 minutes before namaz, but I'll take 5 extra with your permission and do the tafsir of Surah Al-Asr, chapter number 103, as we've been doing the short, concise, bridged tafsir of Quran on Tuesday nights. We've reached chapter number 103, Surah Al-Asr. Of course, this is one of those surahs which I'm sure everybody knows, have it memorized, and even understand the meaning of it. But for the tabarruk and the blessings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins the surah by taking an oath by saying, Wal Asr. By the time, indeed, mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advised each other to truth and advised each other to patience. One of the meanings of the word Asr that is mentioned, asr, literally refers to squeeze something. So when you squeeze a fruit, such as an orange, you squeeze an orange, that's called asr. It has been used to describe the concept of time as well, the time of asr. So you have salatul asr, or asr ghaibat, for example, the time of ghaibat. So at one point it is called the time of asr, and then asr used as the word time of ghaibat. So it's called asr ghaibat, meaning the period of ghaibat of imam over time. In sense of this meaning, the squeezing of the past unfolding as future. So when you squeeze something, you get something new out of it. So when you squeeze this orange, what do you get out of it? The juice. And then, the fresh juice that you drink from it. So that's the future that you moved into. You were in the past, and so you squeeze yourself into the future as you've done with this fruit, for example. So asr, depicting the time of the day when the day is being squeezed into the nighttime. So you see the asr time is usually, the middle part of the afternoon. So in noon, and you have the sunset, and something in between that, you have the time of asr. That's why salatul asr is usually prayed at that time when sun is 2/3 of the decline. So the surah begins with time and ends with sabr. It starts with time and ends with sabr. There's a relationship between time and sabr. You say, well, show patience. As time goes by and passes by, you display sabr and patience, and time will tell. Things will turn in your way, in your favor. Then you need to be patient. Sometimes we are rushing to do and get to some place, and we show lack of sabr. We show lack of patience. While all it requires is patience, because time is with those who have patience. Because if you're impatient, then time is against you. So sabr is the shrinking of time. Surah points out that human being's basic nature is to be at a loss, except those who do these things. So everyone is at loss. It's a very open statement. When Allah says, "Innal insana lafi khusr," all of mankind, including everyone, that is classified as mankind, is at loss. Now, of course, with given such wholesome statement, Allah derives the exception from it. Illa, the word huruf adatul istithna, as we call it, the huruf of exception. The tools of exception is used the word illa, those who believe, those who do good deeds, those who advise each other for truth, and those who advise each other toward patience. The highest degree of patience is that when it is exercised when one keeps away from haram. So there are different levels of sabr and patience we've mentioned, but the highest is when you're staying away from haram. In the beginning of Islam, Muslims used to recite this surah, Suratul Asr, instead of saying goodbye and bidding farewell. So for example, nowadays, when we have some people, when you meet them, and they'll say, Assalamu alaikum, and then they'll say along with it, Ya Ali Madad. It's a customary thing, people say that. Or when they're bidding farewell, there are different languages have different ways of bidding farewell. In Indian, Pakistani culture, we'll say Khuda Hafiz, or Allah Hafiz, or goodbye, or sayonara, whatever, words that you have in different languages, you'll use those. Adios, right? And it might be along with those bidding farewell words, there might be something else along with it as well. Back in the day, people used to recite this surah when they would bid farewell. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu s-salihat wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. That's why it's so small, short, that it would be fitting that they would recite this entire surah instead of saying goodbye when departing. Allah has sworn by all the important times of the day. So wal fajr is there, wal subh is there, wal nahar is there, wal layl is there, wal duha is there, and of course wal asr. Now, I mentioned briefly different views about asr. Some narrations believe that the word asr refers to the time of ghaibat of Imam Zamana. So that asr ghaibat, the time of the ghaibat of Imam Zamana, refers to as asr. Some believe that it is the time when Islam began to spread. Some took it in the literal sense when the word asr literally means to squeeze or pressurize something. Since the time of pressure, humans come out of heedlessness and strive. So when you are pressurized into doing something, when you are put under stress, the best comes out of you. When I'm not pushing you to the limit, you're relaxing. But the moment you push to the limit, now the best of you will come out. So therefore, they took it in the literal sense, to squeeze or to pressure. Some believe that it refers to the time of Asr prayers. Why not? It says Asr, wal Asr, by the Asr, by the time of Asr. So the Salatul Asr could be one of the recipients of it. It has 3 verses, 14 words and 68 letters in this surah. It is 103 third chapter in the Quran, in the current order of chapters that we have. And it is 13th in the chronological revelation of Quran. So look, it's 13th surah was revealed, but it's placed at number 103. There's some messages that we can derive from it. History of mankind has value and therefore worthy of being sown. Wal asr. So insan is the utmost reason for the creation of the entire universe. So who could be more important than insan and human beings, right? No one and nothing is more important than the creation of insan for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, Allah created insan to be ashraful makhluqat. It's worth swearing by insan. The only method of controlling the loss in this life is through what? Through faith only, that I have iman. I believe in Allah. I believe in the tenets of religion. I believe in Qayamat. I believe in all of those things. But I don't have any action whatsoever. I believe, but I'm not going to do any action. Is that enough of a recipe? No. You need to have iman and you need to have amal salih along with it. Worrying about oneself is not enough. That is another thing. You can't just worry about yourself. Say, well, I've done my homework. I'm going to my grave. I've taken care of my stuff. I've done my obligations. No. When you live in a society, it is others also that belong to you. You need to make sure that you take care of them as well. Whether it is financially, whether it is emotionally, and providing that means of guidance for them. Is, well, I'm not a marja, I'm not ayatullah, I'm not a scholar, I'm not an alim. Yeah. But if a person was falling into a pit, will you not go ahead and hold their hand and save them from falling into a pit? Sure. Similarly, when you see someone from a spiritual aspect is falling into the depths of a pit, you go ahead and protect them. You go ahead and safeguard them. So that is your duty as well. Promoting patience is just as important as promoting truth. Objectives and the lessons that we can derive, and inshallah I'll finish in the next couple of minutes, is number 1, awakening mankind by reminding him of his declining history. Your history is on its way down. It's not going up. It's on its way down. It's declining. So realize that. Number 2, explaining the factors of human salvation and happiness. What makes you happy? If you over here, if I was to ask each one of you what makes you happy, we might get different answers, unique answers. But criterion that Allah wants as far as happiness and joy is concerned is mentioned in this surah. The comprehensiveness of Surah Asr is that's, according to some commentators, all the sciences, look at this is the beauty. All the sciences and the purposes of Quran are summarized in this surah. It says, really? 3 ayat? If you want the entire summary of Quran, all the sciences that are mentioned in Quran, you want in 3 sentences? Right here. Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw. The entire Quranic sciences, the entire purpose of the revelation of Quran is summarized in the surah. In other words, the surah, while being short, has organized and presented a comprehensive and a complete plan for human happiness. Why are we here in this world? To attain prosperity. In this path of prosperity, your end result, you want to be happy. How do you attain this happiness and this prosperity? This surah talks about it. You don't need to go beyond that. 3-liner, that's all there is. First, it starts with swearing to Asr. Then it talks about the disadvantage of all human beings, which is hidden in the nature of your gradual life. You're born, you start growing up, and then you see the decline in your life, this gradual process. Then it separates only one group from this general principle. Everyone is in this valley is at loss. Let's take these people out who are not at loss. Who are these people? Mu'minun. those who perform amal salih, those who enjoin each other with patience, and those who enjoin each other as far as truth is concerned. Faith, righteous action, and وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Atmosphere that it was revealed in, considering the Meccan nature of Surah Asr, and the fact that Surah was revealed at the beginning of the Prophet's mission, 13th chapter to be revealed, it's the beginning. It can be said that this Surah is kind of an ultimatum. Usually we give ultimatum when? End. You don't give an ultimatum in the beginning, right? So this is the beginning of the prophetic mission. It sort of gives an ultimatum to the polytheists and even to the believers. The Jonas think that you believe, I have Iman, and that would be enough for me. No. It's given ultimatum not only to the polytheist, kuffar and mushrikeen of Makkah, but also those who have brought Iman. What is it giving you? It says, the ultimatum that the beginning of Prophet's mission swears by the time which the polytheists actually consider something that can have impact on our lives. So people of that time were very superstitious. They believed that ayyam and the days, just the same way today some of us also believe, certain days we won't do certain things. Certain days we will refrain from doing certain things, right? And some of them may have religious roots, some of them may not have religious roots. Some of them will have some cultural roots for that matter, where we come from. So therefore we value, for example, Friday is always considered to be blessed, right? We always consider Friday to be a blessed day, regardless of what's happening. Even if someone dies, Friday is a blessed day, for example. Amongst the days of the week, what is Sardar and the leader? Friday. So when we have that, it's not superstition because Rawayat mentioned Friday is the leader. Back in the day, Kuffar and the Mushrikeen, they considered that time and days and the different period that they went through, the lives, they had a lot of impact on human lives. So they actually believed swearing by time is something which is right in their valley, right down their belief system. So with the revelation of this surah, it became clear to the polytheists that they have no way of salvation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses something which is close to their understanding. See the psyche that Quran is implying? You want to come in and talk to the people according to their nature, that which they understand easily. If they're understanding this easily, oh yeah, we believe in the days can impact our lives. Allah says, wal asr. Swear by the day. Swear by the time. Right away, they are inclined to listening to what does it have to offer. Last thing, features and the virtues of reciting. Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a person who recites the surah regularly, his end will be with ease and upon goodness. He will be considered amongst the people with righteousness. Moreover, if the surah is recited over a treasure, it will not be harmed until it reaches the hands of the owner. So if something you're carrying, which is valuable, and you need to bring it to its rightful owner, and you're afraid of carrying that thing, recite Surah Asr on it, it'll protect it. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq ﷺ said, if this surah is recited over something which is buried, like a treasure or other valuables, it will remain safe, and there will be guards appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over it until its owner takes it out and uses it. So from these riwayat, you understand that maybe somewhere this surah has some sort of magic to it where it protects things, it provides immunity, and it provides security. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability to read Quran, understand Quran, imply Quran in our daily lives. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين